Hello, welcome to episode 120 of Ring Takes here. We have two very special guests. Of course, we have Sonny Eagleman Cain joining us as he's been over the past month or so. But we have Wrestling Spotlight's own Gerald Bentley, host of the Wrestling Spotlight podcast. You can find him there. Interviewed Karrion Kross recently. He'll be joining us for a little bit here before we get into the Clash in Paris. Excited to have him on. Been on his show. Can't wait. So join us until we start talking about the Clash.
One, two, oh my gosh, so close. He kicked out. He kicked out. He kicked.
I'm not the only one here. There we go. Welcome to episode 120 of Ring Takes here, Clash in Paris reaction with Wrestling Spotlight. Of course, we got our man, Sonny Man, Eagleman Cain joining us here, as well as Gerald Bentley of Wrestling Spotlight. You can catch his show on YouTube at Gerald Bentley Wrestling Spotlight. Let's bring it up here. There's the logo right there. Gerald, thank you for joining us here tonight.
Sure.
And joining us as we continue this road of wrestling here and looking at Clash in Paris from this weekend. But first, let's talk about your show a little bit. Give us a little insight about your show.
Well, we have a 24/7 TV channel, actually. It's available on sports.tv, on Carbon TV, on True TV Plus, on Watchy, and about 15 other streaming apps. So you get breakdowns of big events. We do a show called Weekly Champions where Sonny, myself, and guests, including you, break down the big stories of the week. And then also interviews. Had a chance recently, just last week, to sit down and take a half hour with Killer Kross, fresh off of his departure from WWE, talked about his book, Life is Fighting, and previewed his return to the ring and GCW, where he's going to be taking on the most marketable man in wrestling, Richard Holiday. So all of that is available 24/7 for free. We also feature some great exclusive to Wrestling Spotlight TV Pro Wrestling from Glory Pro, from Fountain City Pro, from Central States, from Pro South, and some classic wrestling, Ohio Pro Wrestling, featuring a young Johnny Gargano. So some great entertainment options, and all available for free. You can download that True TV Plus app, any smart TV. It's already on there just to activate it. And it's also available in the Apple App Store and Google Play. Some great options.
Yeah, some great options for wrestling fans, especially your show. And you have some other things that you're doing with football and other sports and stuff like that. So definitely glad to have you on here tonight as we get into Clash in Paris. But let's get into it. Clash in Paris reaction. Lewis swept the board in our picks. I don't know how. He might have some insider knowledge here, but he swept the board.
I'll let it come back.
Yeah, it's been a little rough this year for you. But you turned it around with Clash in Paris. Won perfect 5-0 in the matches that we did know about beforehand. Me and Brian going 2-3. But obviously, let's get into it here. We have Seth Rollins retaining the world title with the help from Becky Lynch. Highly entertaining bout, fatal four-way with Jey Uso, LA Knight, and CM Punk as well. But what do you guys make of Seth Rollins retaining the world title with the help from Becky Lynch?
Gerald, you can go first.
Yeah, don't you think he's not going to lose it this quick? I mean, he is the visionary, right? He's a revolutionary. He has the vision. They dropped the first match, so they needed to get a win, and he did it in a way that his former tag team partner in the Shield, John Moxley, the former Dean Ambrose, would be impressed by, because Becky Lynch played the role of the problem, Marina Shafir. And it looks like we're going to see that moving forward, which a lot of people had speculated that she was the extra person joining the Vision. And yeah, why not? If your wife can't help you interfere with the match, who can? And I think the other thing that, it's just like exploding across the wrestling internet is that AJ Lee Miss CM Punk is coming back too, so you may get to see a little mixed tag team action with CM Punk and AJ Lee going up against Seth and Becky. Be interesting.
Yeah. Yep. And,
Sonny? Is it my go?
Yeah.
Okay. I was no surprised at the outcome, but I expected Seth Rollins to have some extra help to be put over. And I think if women are going to inject themselves into men's matches, that they should be prepared to wrestle men. I don't think it's going to go unnoticed by CM Punk that this has happened to him from her. And from the days of China in the WWE, China had begun wrestling the men too, and that was part of her whole storyline that she wrestled both men and women. And it just hasn't ever really caught on as a mainstream wrestling angle in WWE. But I think so a ramification may become a Becky Lynch's way here at some point in time from CM Punk. Tired of seeing CM Punk getting screwed out of things. Would like to see him pick up a W somewhere along the way. Did not expect Seth Rollins to really drop the title this soon. But the extra help, that's kind of a Ric Flair move too, a little bit, and it's been around for that long. So to me, it just makes whoever the champion is look weak and watered down a little bit. Would they go out there like Flair did in the early days and wrestle the wrestlers up front and on their own, it made them look stronger. So when they did get the help, it was like, well, maybe they really needed the push. But today, everyone's getting the help. So it's just a different time in there.
Yeah, and especially with the events on Raw that happened yesterday, Becky Lynch putting her hands on CM Punk in that altercation, and CM Punk didn't put his hands on her, so it seems like AJ Lee is on the way. But what did you think about the match, Lewis, overall?
Match was great. I'm not gonna lie, there was probably one spot in the match where there was a tiny spot where I thought, oh, could they actually pull the trigger? But I knew it wasn't gonna happen. Like kind of everybody else, Gerald and Sonny kind of reiterated. I didn't think he was gonna lose the title. This is only the second defense, you know. I feel like in this era we've had longer title reigns, and just I think this group and everything that Seth's built, it's gonna go on for a bit. But yeah, the one spot that I saw was when LA Knight hit his finisher, the BFT, and I was like, broke things up. That was probably the only spot where I thought, I could be wrong. But I like the setup. It's definitely, like we've said, heelish tactics. Always has Seth is the visionary, has something always creeping. I'm actually surprised that it took so long for them to, I guess. Well, no, they have had an interaction in the past, right? With Becky and Seth. Didn't they do something together at one point?
Bit. I mean, with the injury.
So it's kind of it's been a long time. Yeah. It's been a long time since they've done anything, but that was definitely, I expected, I'm like, are they actually going to bring another? I was expecting maybe another male, like maybe somebody from NXT or something like that, but Becky definitely adds that, she's a heel herself right now, and, obviously her and her husband are just great characters right now, so it makes sense and it works well. I'm definitely excited for AJ Lee. I really hope that she comes back. Funny enough, I was actually watching her old promo, and I didn't even consider it a pipe bomb, but I guess it was her own pipe bomb when she was kind of scrutinizing all the Total Divas back then. And I'm like, she was actually really, really good at promos, and I actually loved her character. That was kind of when I was getting back into wrestling around that time. I saw, from her transition to Paige and stuff, so I still got to see a good amount of her in the ring, and she was always great. So I'm definitely hoping that she comes back, because that will be the biggest pop probably for this year, if it happens this year.
Well, yeah, similar to everybody else, kind of knew that Seth Rollins was going to retain. You know, he is the visionary. You know, he always does have a plan in his back pocket. You know, when Becky came out, you know, I actually was a little frustrated about it because somebody on this show has been calling for AJ Lee for the longest time, and they were proven right. So I was just like, oh man, now he's gonna be.
Wait. 2 PLEs in a row, Bron? I'm on a roll here.
Yeah, but similar to everyone else, the Fatal 4-Way itself was a great match. The spot with the LA Knight doing the elbow drop through the table. I mean that kind of popped me for a second. But yeah, similar to everyone else. Having Becky in the back pocket is tremendous. I can only hope because there was another time when he who should not be named was booking the show, and Beth and Seth were together, and they were baby faces, and they kind of came off very corny, and like the stuff that the segments that they had them doing were very like not entertaining at all. But now that as both heels, now you can only see that and that they're married and such, that like the dynamic that they have, the chemistry that they have is going to come out a lot more this go around, and it is going to be great to see AJ back. Similar to you, Lewis, I do remember that pipe bomb promo that she cut on Total Divas, and during that time for women, because this is still during the time where women were just starting to get pushed back into the spotlight, back into their respectful spotlight. So it really was a pipe bomb then, and a lot of the female talent you see on the roster, like Roxanne Perez and a couple of others, they're inspired by AJ Lee. I mean, Roxanne still calls her mom, sure. So I can only hope that when she does come back, which the way that they were talking about on Raw could be this Friday on SmackDown in Chicago, which would be a tremendous. Love the match. It was a very creative reveal, and now moving forward towards WrestlePalooza, it's going to be very interesting.
Most definitely. I love the match. I love Fatal 4-Ways encounters when all people are hot at the point in time. All those guys could have had a chance, right? In terms, a lot of people felt like this was being rushed, maybe because War Games is coming up down the line a little bit here, putting Seth up against 3 top guys on Raw right now. But I thought the match was pretty good. Everyone got to get their stuff in one-on-one and stuff like that. And you can kind of see the potential feuds being built off of this match. And then I thought it was kind of good to see Seth kind of be the cowardly heel and being like screaming for Paul Heyman in the middle of the ring, and just finding his way in the match, still showing that he can get it done on his own. Right until the end where Becky Lynch came in and low-blowed CM Punk. So definitely looking forward to the mixed tag match that's potentially coming up between these 4 people, CM Punk, AJ Lee. I've been calling it. I've been saying it only makes sense for Becky Lynch to be in the Vision. I've been saying that since this group was formed. I'm like, Becky Lynch just came back to come back to win the IC title. She had that battle with Lyra and stuff like that, and it's like the way her character is, the music, everything. I'm just like, it only makes sense that she's in the Vision, and it's finally coming to fruition. We saw on Monday Night Raw her get into an altercation with CM Punk, potentially leading to a mixed tag team match with AJ Lee. So definitely looking forward to that coming up in a bit. Let's keep moving on to the next match of the night. Roman Reigns victorious, but the Vision take him out. This was Bronson Reed's coming out party with this one here, in my opinion. But what did you guys think about the match? Why did I do that? There we go.
I thought it was a really good match. And, you know, what really jumped out at me is how much fun it seems Roman is having being the good guy, being the face. Because people loved Roman Reigns when he was the tribal chief in the bloodline. Even at WrestleMania 40, where Cody beat him, when he came into the ring at Lincoln Financial Field, half of the stands, maybe 3/4 of the stands, were putting a 1 up and acknowledging Roman Reigns. So, I mean, he is a super popular guy in the WWE universe. And that was a good match, because if he was guilty of anything during the end of his championship run, it was not exactly doing a whole heck of a lot in the ring. And he went at it with Bronson Reed. It was a good match. And the beatdown at the end, you know, well executed. I mean, it makes sense. You're not going to see him for a little bit now. And don't don't read in that he's shooting a movie. That's totally coincidental.
That's been the
Reality
case for a
out.
little
Keep
bit.
that plus. Keep that suspension of disbelief. But I thought they did a good job, and the wise man was a whimpering, cowardly, kind of weasel in the spirit of Bobby Heenan, and acknowledging Roman and got the guillotine. So yeah, I thought they did a great job and hit all the notes on it.
For sure. Anybody can take the floor right now.
I guess I'll take it. Just to pile on what you just said, Gerald. Roman's aura, like just with his entrance alone, I think Roman Reigns is now entered attraction status now, and if not now, then definitely months prior. Now you can put Roman up against anybody right now, and it's just people just won't want to see him. And just as an aside, the fans in France for both Raw and both Clash and Paris were just amazing. I mean, they were clearly into it. Their crowd reaction was just tremendous. Overseas fans are the best fans. They just are. There's no debate about it. But the match itself was great. Like Daniel said, it was Bronson Reed's coming out party. I love the fact that they're continuing to build him. I think Lewis, at one point in time, he was a guy for you that you wanted to see pushed on that next level, as a big man since his initial feud with Braun Strowman last year. So now that we're seeing him, we go, moving in that direction as a threat. It's only going to be great things moving forward. And Paul Heyman, he's such a character. He adds little things that he does, just adds so much to the match, like the whimpering, like Gerald mentioned, and the begging and pleading. Like he adds so much that that's why he's a Hall of Famer. But all in all, Roman is an attraction, and this coming out for Bronson Reed.
Yeah, no, I love this match. Again, I love how even in the loss, Bronson is still being protected and shown as this monster, and he's a massive dude. He reminds me of like a modern Bam Bam Bigelow type. He's not doing a moonsault, but he's still, flying off the top rope, and he's fast, he's agile. And like Brian said, he was one of those call-ups that I was like, how do you not utilize this guy? And when he finally kind of took out Seth and did the 6 tsunamis, I'm just like, that's how you give somebody that push and that, make him seen and everything. But yeah, I think putting him against Roman was great. The Shula Fala, I kind of hope that's kind of run its course, but
I think so. He took him out after, so yeah.
I don't know if carrying those anymore. So
the front row fans got some nice memorabilia.
Yeah, that is true. Hopefully he doesn't just go buy some of the pairs or whatever. But yeah, I hope that's done. It was good for what it was. And, yes, Roman got the winner. So hopefully that's kind of the end of that. I do wonder, kind of following up on Raw a little bit, even Braun Breaker saying, we don't got Paul Heyman to hold us back anymore. Are they just going to be unhinged and just attacking whoever they feel like or whoever they feel, build these guys up, give them more time. But, yeah. As far as Roman has established himself as just such a top, like Brian said, attraction, where it's just like, it doesn't matter if he's heel or babyface, people want to see him. People are going to put their ones up. And it's crazy to think that it took so long for him to get there, but it's the greatest character that we have going on right now. So can't wait to see him when he comes back, because we all know it's going to be a huge hit when he comes back.
Another return. Thoughts, Sonny?
When I first came to Wrestling Spotlight about 17 months ago, and everybody was talking about Roman, I had not really been exposed to Roman at that point in time. But over time, I have begun to see what all the hype is about. And what you have is a wrestler who can play heel or babyface, and that wrestler can totally understands the business. I myself played heel and babyface and was a heel toward the end of my career, and being put over more. But what you want to do is tell your story. And now Roman has been able to fully tell his story, and the fans are connected to him through his storytelling. And they feel a part of him on either side of the coin. And I was tickled to see him get his shoes back. Nobody mentioned he got his shoes back, but the man needs his shoes. But they have bought him in well. And my prediction early on has been, I think the Bloodline is going to reunite in some way, somehow, on down the line. And this is just a big family feud, including with Paul Heyman. You can't say enough nice things about Paul Heyman's contributions to the Bloodline. And even now, he is still showing some respect toward Roman. And I think this is all going to iron out, that we're going to have a united front here at some point. And what a front it'll be. I mean, they've got Reigns is everywhere. You got Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and just everybody and anybody. But I thought it was a great match, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of Roman. I've heard a couple of things as to why he's out. I don't buy into the gossip always, but when he gets back to living and gets back in the game, it's going to be on.
1 second, Sonny. Gerald has to depart from us.
Gotta go cover opening. It's opening week of the National Football League. And, you can catch that out too on Sports TV Plus. But man, guys, thanks a lot, and definitely look forward to having you all join us on Wrestling Spotlight TV too.
Well, definitely.
Thank you.
Great to be on the show. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for joining us.
See you Thursday, boss.
See ya.
Let me just get Gerald out of here. But yeah, obviously we got the obviously I think we're heading towards the Bloodline reunion at some point here to take on the Vision, whatever version of it.
I'm not the only one seeing that here.
I think that's where it's going to be heading towards at some point overall. But yeah, I thought it was a great
ring. I mean, as soon as they unite, it's just going to go boom, and titles are going to go their way. It's going to be a force.
Yes, for sure. But this match, I thought was great. I thought it was a coming out for Bronson Reed. He's kind of been the guy he had the Shula Fala thing. He's kind of been taking people out, but people were kind of always looking at Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, looking at those guys as the main attractions of the group. Bronson Reed, with that performance, really stood out to me. The way he countered the spear with the power bomb, just his overall size, him and Roman going back and forth. And Bronson was controlling a majority of the match in that match, getting a lot of stuff in. So to see him perform that way, be healthy, first and foremost, and to perform like that with Roman shows that he can be in that main event level. I thought that he had the main event level potential when he wrestled Gunther for the IC title. What was that, 2 years ago or so? I was saying to then, I'm like, this guy's ready. He can go with anybody if he can get in there with Gunther, and he's showing it with Roman Reigns and continuing to build up his ring work. The Shula Fala, Lewis, I think that is gone. I think by Roman throwing the shoes in the crowd and giving them away, I don't think that's going to be something anymore. But it was a nice little thing, kind of like, I don't want to say it was Randy Orton Legend Killer, but it was kind of like putting a legend on notice.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gunning for you. I'm coming. I'm the young guy coming for you. So definitely enjoyed the match. The outcome. I love the beatdown afterwards. I thought that was a good way. If you're going to write somebody off, you do it that way. I just wish Bronson Reed got the win, because I think that would have really solidified him going forward.
Roman's not losing.
Yeah. I mean, Roman's the only person that doesn't lose on his way out. Like when he leaves, he usually gets a win and then he gets taken out. So
I agree with you too, Daniel. If they didn't do the beatdown after and they just ended with Roman giving out the sneakers and they just went to the next match, now I really would have been dissatisfied with it. But at least they had the beatdown to at least give Roman a reason to come back even after winning. So that was smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was definitely smart on their part. I'm looking forward to what they do, and especially with this Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, what they're doing going forward. If they're going to run Rugshaw over Raw again and just be taking people out, I think at some point they got to get the tag titles. I know, I know it's kind of in limbo, but I'm like, at some point they got to get the tag titles and make them and really be dominant on Monday Night Raw. But
even a clash with them in Judgment Day would be nice, kind of. I mean, maybe even like decimate them, I guess.
I think what's going to happen is that either Dom is going to cost them the titles or something, some capacity of something where we finally see that dissension in the Judgment Day and we lead to a breakup or some type of animosity between all those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was great match between all those people. Let's continue to move on between Logan Paul, John Cena, putting on a great match. No interference. No. I was surprised by that. No interference. No help for Logan Paul. Just big match. John and Logan Paul going at it. What are your guys' thoughts on this one here?
All right. I'm gonna just say this. If there's anybody out there who still have questions about Logan Paul as an in-ring performer, sit your ass down and go somewhere. Because if this match didn't sell you, I don't know what will. Because
Brian, he's a YouTuber. He'll never
exactly. I mean, that was their whole story. But his performance in this match was just amazing with everything that he did. Like this is the second match that John Cena has had where we're looking at John Cena like maybe you can go another year. Do you have to retire? Just think about the match with Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. SummerSlam was a 5-star. This match, honestly, you can make the case it was the match of the night between these two guys, and John Cena is just like I said, you look at what he's doing in like these last two matches, it's just amazing. And then from Logan Paul's perspective, him doing Hangman Page's move, and as some people saying he's making it look better than Hangman now. So, and the people have been going that far.
No, his buckshot letter. Logan's is not there.
Yeah. Like I said, the whole story and going into this match with John Cena pretty much calling Logan Paul an outsider and everything. I think maybe we need to stop looking at Logan Paul in that manner, because when you really think about it, how many bad matches has Logan Paul had since he's been in WWE? I don't think he's had one. I think all his matches have either been between average and 5-star. I don't think he's had a bad match. So. It was a great match. I also was surprised with the outcome that we didn't get a Brock Lesnar appearance. But it was a tremendous match. John Cena coming out on top. So it's going to be very interesting if he is indeed going to be facing Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. What the direction is going to be. But it was a very impressive match. Don't sleep on Logan Paul anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely I'm not going to knock Logan Paul as an athlete and an in-ring performer, because he definitely has it. He's got the skills. I think, and this is probably something that Dan has brought up, is like, and it's one of those situations like he's good, but he keeps losing and he keeps getting all these spots. He keeps getting all these matches. He gets title shots, and and it's like we get it. Some of those, like the Saudi stuff, obviously is very popular. YouTube, it makes sense to give him those spots. This match, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that excited for it, but it did surprise me. They had a lot of false finishes, he pulled out a lot of new, I guess, maneuvers that he doesn't usually use that were actually really good. And he has used the buckshot in other times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think Hangman does it way better. But yeah, no, Logan Paul is great. This match was great. I just think, if he's actually going to become to be accepted, I think his character needs to change a little, because he's kind of been playing the same YouTuber heel, I'm better than you guys, for a while now, and he needs. I don't know. I think he just needs. I mean, he's kind of done it where he's like, he's been knocking people out with the titanium hand and all that stuff, and he's a boxer, but like actually taking people out. Like if he actually gets serious and aggressive, maybe even more week to week stuff, not just leading up to PLEs, I feel like he'll actually become more like, oh, we actually can see this guy actually like going and well, maybe even accept him more as a champion, not just like he's just the YouTube guy. He just comes in, but I think that's where the disconnect is, because we have heels. You got Seth Rollins, who's the biggest heel right now, but people still say Seth freaking Rollins, and they cheer him on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't like what he's doing, but they still love his character. Logan Paul just has super heat, but it's not for his wrestling. It's just for who he is as a person. And I think we're still carrying the whole he's a YouTuber, he's just a dick, he's a jerk, blah blah blah. We're never gonna accept him, but it's like we need a little more character work for him to become more accepted. So that's just where I'm at.
Thoughts, Sonny, on the match?
From what I've seen, I thought it was a hard-hitting match. I've said on Wrestling Spotlight Doors now for ever since Logan Paul came to the show. Logan Paul is going to be tomorrow's superstar. And what a guy will do, like John Cena, is to teach Logan Paul the ropes. They will get in there and they will wrestle them repeatedly. And I agree with you, Lewis, that there is an overkill of Logan Paul's YouTube thing. I mean, yes, he started there. He came from there, but he's been a part of wrestling now long enough that they should be re-angling his angle. Logan Paul won me when he walked out and said one day his picture's going to be on the side of the traders for WWE. And I thought, what a wonderful self-image. And thank you. And they have almost watered down, a word I tend to use a little bit, Logan Paul's ability by the way they are currently angling him, because it's taken away from his gifted in-ring performances. The man can bump, the man can move, the man can fly. He's there. And they just need to bring him full circle now. And I think a good image for him would be discuss that he's in there not for the money, but for the self-accomplishment of what he can do while there, or something of that nature. That would be more appropriate. And that's kind of why LA Knight's been talking about to people about him is, hey, this guy's not here like us. He's here because he truly wants to be here, and he's a dangerous dude who's here because he wants to be here and not here for the money, because Paul portrays a rich person. And in a recent interview, not to run too long here, but in a recent interview after one of the pay-per-views, there was a locker room interview, and Paul Heyman gave Logan Paul the eye during the interview. And it wasn't, hey, we don't think you're good enough. It was, hey, this is impressive, because Logan Paul brought in his brother into the interview, and that impressed Paul. So he's starting to step off in the right direction now, and I think we're going to continue to see Logan Paul climb. I can't say enough good things about him. I'm really impressed with him.
Yeah, no question there. The match was great. John Cena getting this last run, him bumping shoulders with the young guy, right? Your Logan Paul coming in. Obviously, he has a lot of heat on himself, a big, huge following, a large hatred crowd towards him, people that don't like him and stuff like that. But when he gets in the ring, I don't care about none of that. Because the one thing that I've seen from him, and I think maybe even we can talk about like Bad Bunny, other people like that have come in, Stephen Amell, they actually come in, even Jelly Roll, I got to give him credit. They come in,
especially him.
Yeah.
They come in with the respect, with the intentions of doing the hard work. It's not just, hey, I'm going to show up, do a couple spots, and then leave. They actually put the time in, and I don't think anybody has put the time in like him. He has legitimately put the time in. He's worked on his moveset. Every match he adds something new. He's going longer in the ring. Like, usually people will get blown up, and they'll have tag matches and stuff like that.
Or gassed.
Gassed.
He's doing single matches all the way through, pretty much.
Yeah, and going nearly 30 minutes. No issue. Like, I can't say enough about him as a performer. And to me, he's only earned the respect of, he should have the respect of all the wrestlers. I'm pretty sure they respect him with all the work they're doing. They're willing to work with him, but he should have the respect for the fans from that standpoint. Like, you can't question his in-ring ability at all. I don't think that can be a question anymore. As for his character work, I would like to see a little bit more with him. I think he should lean into the rich guy gimmick and kind of go $1 Million Man.
Yeah.
And kind of just go hiring people to do his business or hiring people.
Logan.
yeah, do something like that. You can trademark that. Like, just go into it, lean into it more. Like, and
he just got married. He could show the wife. I mean, he could do all kinds of things.
I mean,
just
enhance his image.
And he's always going to be a heel, like just based on the fact that people think that they know him based upon like him as a YouTuber, his relationship with his brother and all that stuff. Like, he's always going to be a heel and get that response anyway.
Yeah.
And I think we're at a point now with him where it's just like now, like putting the world title on Logan Paul is not a bad idea right now at this point. In the future.
I agree.
I think he can definitely work his way to that spot, and if it's by hook by crook, it fits his character. I'm with it, but I'm just impressed by him. John Cena is still able to go, and as I said when he had the title, I think he should extend it to WrestleMania. I know obviously those plans changed and everything with that who should not be named The Rock and stuff like that, but it's like the way John Cena is still giving his best performances. And it doesn't seem like he's taking a step back. It's like he's fully bought into this timeline, and he's not selling us short. He's not selling us short on his performances. That's for sure.
I'd like to add one thing, without jumping into being too forward. I think Brock Lesnar was possibly sent in by The Rock. I don't think The Rock is totally done with John Cena. He is out making the movies and stuff. But I think The Rock and Cena are going to meet up at least one more time before Cena.
That would be interesting.
No more Rock.
I've been saying
away.
They should have had. I know The Rock is doing the Smashing Machine press run and stuff like that. But all I need is The Rock to pop on the Titantron and just be like, John, you thought I forgot about you, and send out Brock Lesnar. Exactly. I wanted that to happen at SummerSlam. That's what I wanted. We got half of that equation. I don't know what the plan is going forward between those two. Obviously, they're going to have a showdown at some point. But I would have just liked to see The Rock at least be the guy to push the button, right? Like a heel general manager or a heel CEO or something like that, just to push the button and add the venom, the fuel to Brock and Cena. Obviously, they have history, but I just felt like if there was just a little bit more of a hill to climb, it would have been better. But we'll see what happens. John Cena going on to face, I'm pretty sure, Brock Lesnar at some point. If they have WrestlePalooza set up, I would.
It shouldn't be at WrestlePalooza.
I mean, where else are they going to do it?
I mean, you need a marketing
more games.
You have first PLE on the ESPN app.
Yeah, like they gotta sell that. I think that's what it's gonna be.
But that's the thing. That WrestlePalooza is what, 3 weeks away? Again, another just 3-week build with just him and Brock.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, the names kind of sell it. You really don't need that much of a build if it's John Cena and Brock Lesnar because they already have history, and like I said, their names sell it already.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but I need to. I don't know. Maybe if it was at least 4 weeks. At least.
You want a month?
Just a little bit more build, right?
We have one. We haven't seen Brock in forever. 2, okay, he came back and just attacked him. We don't know why. Is it just because he's on his retirement tour and he's just like, I'm gonna beat your ass like I've always done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I want a little bit of story. Like, can we get at least? Because I feel like for the longest time, not until Brock kind of left for Roman, we haven't really heard Brock talk like that. So it's like I want him to actually. Can we get a damn reason why you're actually coming? Is this actually affiliated with The Rock? Is this just on your own? Like, nah, it's because it's John Cena. Like, I need something. It just can't be him just coming out, beating his ass. Okay, we're having a match and that's it. It's just like, can we get some type of story? I feel like honestly, he should probably just be his last match, or at least they'll have at least 2, maybe. I don't know, but he should definitely be one of the last people to face him.
So basically, Basically, you just want a story.
Like
you want a reason.
I feel like
you want a reason for them fighting.
maybe
that's my angle for a reason. I think The Rock sent him. I think The Rock is still active on the TKO board of directors that he sits on. And I don't think he's forgotten the WWE. I think Hollywood has just currently pretty much overbooked him to the point that he cannot make it back. He's doing two or three movies now at the same time, something like that. And he's got a major movie coming up on Tarzan here toward the last of the year, where he'll be playing Tarzan in the movie or have some role involvement in the movie. So, I mean, it's hard to juggle both things.
I mean, I just thought the perfect setup for a lot of these things would have just been The Rock just sticking it to John Cena. Like, you didn't do what I needed you to do.
One more time.
just keep screwing him over.
One of these and expect it to go away overnight. I mean, that's the way it works.
Something. And this is the thing to me. It doesn't have to be in person. It can just be a video.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you don't have to. I don't know, but. Obviously, we're heading towards a showdown. I don't know what's next for Logan Paul, but he's impressive. Can't say enough about him in the ring. We'll see what happens with him going forward, and we'll see what happens with John Cena, potentially against Brock Lesnar going forward. Let's continue to move on here. Becky Lynch. There we go. Becky Lynch retains her IC title against Nikki Bella. Becky Lynch pulling double duty here. What did you guys think about this matchup between these two women?
By Brian's rubbing of the head, you can already.
No. Wait. This is sorry, Lewis, but I gotta say this. Brian, this is your fault.
It is.
This
is
your
Brian's fault.
All I tried to do was just explain the business reason for having Nikki Bella, and I thought it made perfect sense. But
Brian, just say you're part of the Bella Army. Just say it.
I'm not. Or if I was, I'm damn sure not after this match. I was just saying this: the night Clash at Paris would have been a perfect show if not for this fucking match. This is the only match that kept the show from being perfect. Every other match that we've been talking about so far was either good, great, or 5-star quality. If it wasn't for this match, the night would have been perfect. Like I said, like Nikki Bella, like I said, out of everything I've been saying about her from a business standpoint, I feel has been true. But then the bell has to ring eventually, and then what we saw from her, I mean, the botch that's going around social media of her missing that kick, even though a lot of people are saying, oh, that's kind of Becky Lynch's fault because of timing. But still, the way it looked, but there's just the fact that it was Nikki Bella just add to that critique about her in-ring work over the years, and like the match was very, very, very decent or mid, but it's just that, like, again, Nikki Bella, the timing, being out of the ring for so long, little things like when they were outside and Nikki Bella was beating Becky Lynch's head from table to table, and it just looked comical. Like I said, look at Lewis right now. The way Lewis just did that right now, it just looked comical. It didn't look serious. And then I think Becky won with that roll up that Wade Barron is now calling the Lynch pin.
That's not a bad name.
Which is not a bad name at all. But like I said, the match was very mid, and I can only hope that this will be the end all be all for Nikki Bella moving forward. We don't need to see her. I think business wise they're doing fine as far as the women's division go. And like we said, we're getting AJ Lee coming back, so I don't think we need necessarily Nikki Bella or her any longer. So, like I said, if not for this match, the night would have been perfect.
Yeah. To piggyback on that, I mean, I think this match just showed the real ring rust. I think probably also her age is coming into play as well. Maybe more just real ring rust. I mean, she hasn't. It has been a while. It has been a while. So I can give her that. But again, I have never been the biggest Nikki Bella. Yes, she was a dominant champion. And there was just nothing really about her moveset that ever really wowed me. So I didn't expect this to be another wow, but yeah, there were not a lot of good spots in this match. But I think that it's probably also maybe just like, getting back into that in-ring shape, and maybe she just didn't have enough time to, I guess, get to that, or maybe she just needs a couple more matches to like kind of get back, which she's had, but maybe it's not consistent enough.
Yeah.
I really hope we're not getting more Nikki Bella, because this this also takes spots from other people that are on the main roster who could use it right now. There should highlight this whole whatever they're gonna do with Bailey and Lyra. At least Lyra's coming back. There's other things that could be going on. So I kind of think in the same merit, I hope this is kind of something tells me that she might still be coming back. Maybe she'll be on the world title hunt and get in another triple threat or fatal four-way, but I really hope not. So
I just have one question. When did Nikki Bella use the STF and call it the Fearless Lock?
I don't, that was new.
I don't know.
I don't think she's.
When did that happen? It
might have been when she had that tag match with John. I think that might have been the only time I could think that didn't she have a mixed tag match with her and
yeah, they were up against the Miz and Maurice.
Yeah,
at WrestleMania. I can't remember one of those manias, but
yeah, because I seen that. I saw that and I was just like, yo, let it go. He's married now. We're done with this. Like, why you don't need to be doing these moves anymore. It's done. Like it's over. No, he didn't want to get married to you. Move on. Why are you doing? Why are you still doing this moves?
Speaks to Becky Lynch's promos. But thoughts on the match, Sonny, between these two?
It's kind of a rerun at this point, but what they're doing in the WWE, I think now is they're beginning to go back to the rivalry stages of wrestling for back in my day. What you would usually get out of people who bet 4 and 5 times are your Steamboat and Ric Flair type matches because they know each other that well. And they do all this, Brian and Lewis, and then they end up years later at the WWE Hall of Fame inductions, and Becky Lynch will be inducting Nikki into the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, it's like, boom. And it kind of kills the sale of the two rivaling each other. I think the rivalry as a whole in WWE could be played out better and have more athleticism in the matches than what we're seeing currently now. Just as Brian said, as a space filler in a main event card is not good enough to be there. You want them to go somewhere and, like Lewis said, in his own way, work through the ring rust and get over that side of it so that you can carry yourself for the duration of the match. I don't know where Logan Paul's been meeting John Cena at, but I guarantee you almost that they have met somewhere before and run through moves and practice matches and things of that nature. I don't think it's all been done in the ring at the show. Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch, I do think, has all been done in the ring at the show. And that's just Becky Lynch bringing Nikki along. So now where she goes from here, Nikki, it's anyone's guess. But until they can more fine-tune their match, I'm tired of seeing it. So I hope it's the end of it.
I think that makes it unanimous. I'm going to go 4 for 4. I thought this match was a cluster. Becky Lynch is as only good as her opponent, meaning the better her opponent, the better the match is.
Right.
The worse her opponent is, the worse the match is. And this was a classic case of that, where it's just like Becky Lynch just couldn't make it happen in this one. And I'm just going to say this. It's not for a lack of trying with Nikki Bella. Obviously, she's trying in the ring. Respect to her for getting in there. But it's just like, this was an attraction match that was supposed to be an attraction match. on the lines of a Trish Stratus, because I remember when Trish Stratus first came back, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. It took a couple times for her to get ready. Maybe this was just a little too fast, too soon for Nikki Bella. Maybe if she had another month or two to get right, maybe this could have been something. But given the way this match was, I just couldn't get into it. I knew Becky was going to retain. There was no suspense of Nikki Bella winning the title or anything like that. Again, I would have rather see Lyra Valkyria. I would rather see Bayley. I don't like the fact that they took Lyra out of the equation. I felt like she should have tried to still been maybe trying to get somebody to, because obviously she can't challenge for the title because she lost at SummerSlam, but maybe helping somebody else or coaching somebody else to go up against, maybe even walking down with Nikki Bella, maybe coaching her up week to week and stuff like that to try to help her win, to get that opportunity back and maybe tell a story there. But ultimately, this match was just very cut and dry. Obviously, the botch happened in the ring. We saw that. The announcer table spot, I was so mad because I'm like, this is terrible. There's no way they thought this was a good idea here with that one. But ultimately, Becky Lynch retains. We'll see what happens with that going forward. Again, she's in the division, so I'm hoping that we get AJ Lee spot. I hope that we get more things out of that going forward. For Nikki Bella, we'll see you at the Royal Rumble. You got anything to say, Brian, or are you all set?
No, I'm all set.
Okay.
Like I said, because I was the one that was defending so hard, bringing Nikki Bella back from a business perspective, and now that we're seeing what she's doing in the ring and with the promo work, now you can see why there's a difference sometimes between the money that's drawn based on somebody's name and then what they actually do once they're brought in. So so now you're seeing that, like, okay, in ring wasn't good. Promo she cut against Becky wasn't good, but she's still a Bella, so she's bringing in money. So hey,
Bella is money. But let's keep moving on to a banger of a match, very physical. We got Rusev defeating Sheamus, making him submit. In the Donnybrook match, a very physical matchup between two guys there. What did you guys think of this match between these two titans? They really went at it in this match, and it was just awesome.
I don't get why they're not putting Sheamus over more. He goes out there every week. He gives 100% in his effort, and it's kind of disappointing to me at this point in time that he's not being put over more than he is for the W, much less a run at something. The crowd gets behind him. So, I mean, what more can he do to come forward and start picking up the W's? And that's what it's all about. You've got to it's one thing to tell your story and continue to lose, and it's another thing to tell your story and start to climb. Another man who climbed last week was Sami Zayn, and that's where he was at. He was in the same boat as Sheamus, and he was starting to wonder. He said on TV, and I believed it to be a real comment, he was starting to wonder if he even belonged anymore there. So until the belt drop happened. So, I'm scratching my head going, well, how long can Sheamus hold on to the WWE if he's not going to be being put over during the match? I don't see his longevity at this point. But the man's a fighter. He looks like a fighter. And I think Triple H needs to take a step back and refocus on how to bring him forward more. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, well, actually, from that standpoint, in regards to Sheamus, I actually do agree with you from that standpoint, Sonny, because I've always felt that Sheamus was always a very solid guy in the ring. Because Sheamus doesn't have bad matches. To me, his matches were always either good or 5-star status. He always delivers. His character. He's always been a hard hitting guy, and he doesn't have bad matches. But I just feel in this case with Rusev coming back, the fact that Rusev came back on the Raw after WrestleMania, and his first PLE match was late August. to me, all that time, like I said, I was hoping that like when Rusev came back, that we were going to get a lot of that Redeemer character that he had in AEW, because I felt like what he did in AEW with that character was some of the best work that he had done. I thought it was a lot better than the Rusev Day stuff that he was doing in WWE before, and we're getting a lot of that character right now in this current run, and I just felt that like, okay, it's finally time. It's time for Rusev, and I think this Donnybrook match was perfect because of how great Sheamus is in ring. We knew he was going to bring the best out of Rusev, and that's what we ended up getting. Now moving forward, we can assume that Rusev is moving on. I don't know where you go now, because I think like Sheamus was like the perfect opponent for him. It was the perfect situation. It was the perfect storyline. So now it's very curious to see what they're going to do with Rusev now moving forward. Some would say he should move on to the mid card, go after the IC title, but that's currently being held by Dominic, who's one of your hottest young heels right now on the roster. So it's going to be very interesting what they do with them. Do they put him in the main event, put him up against a main event guy now? But it's going to be very interesting. I just hope that we continue to get the progression of Rusev. But also, to add to your point, Sonny, I think Sheamus is at a point right now. I think the only thing he hasn't done is won the IC title, and he's racked up a whole bunch of accolades at this point, where it's like, I think you can say that like when he loses matches like this, it really doesn't hurt him, because you already know what you're going to get from Sheamus when you put him out there. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, this was a great match. Sheamus always has great matches, hard hitting. He takes a lot of risk. He puts his body on the line every time. From the great matches he had with Drew, to anybody, he always has crazy hard hitting matches. And I, like Brian said, he was the perfect opponent for Rusev coming back. But I'm definitely a big Rusev fan. And I felt like he definitely needed this push. They've been going back and forth, but if he's going to have any type of momentum or impact, he needs a couple wins. Sheamus is at a point where, Sheamus is a bona fide Hall of Famer at this point. He's kind of in I feel like he's kind of in like a Randy status. He's kind of in a Randy status where, he's still people still love to see him. He can still go. I would like to see him get that IC title, just because so he can finally call himself a Grand Slam champion. And I think maybe you could even, we got AJ going after Dominic. He kind of just got screwed and lost in that sense. So, is AJ still? This is already the second time he's lost to Dom as well. So who knows if he's still going to be in the picture for that? If anything, I would like AJ to go after the main title, because I feel like AJ is also kind of in a John Cena boat where we don't know how much of AJ we have left. I'd like to see him get another. I don't know if he's going to get another title run, but I would like to still see him in the main event before he goes. And then that could leave, you could throw Rusev in there. I think that he could definitely be put. Please do not put him in a tag team match. I will be very upset if he gets put in a tag team, but I think he should be put into the mid card, get more wins. And who knows? He could even, I guess, maybe until Gunther comes back, be kind of like that strong Gunther type, hard hitting, just going after people, taking them out, getting W's over people. And, that could actually even lead him to the main title. I know that scene is very stacked right now, but, I'm just kind of fantasy booking in my own head. But, I feel like he's definitely somebody who is, at one point was championship status, and it's like you can get him there. It just also depends. It just depends on how you utilize him, because if it's just going to be like, oh, he got this win and you don't do anything with him for 2 months, it's like, what was the point of that whole feud? So I hope they do something for him. I would like Sheamus to just kind of be in the IC title and maybe get that at some point, because again, he's another one. We don't know how much longer we got him. These guys are getting older, they know the pain that comes with all the work, and we also don't know how much more time they got left. So,
and that's the point I was trying to make, was where does he go from here? I mean, he's got to go upward instead of downward from here, and to continue to bring him out the way they are. He just needs to be finer tuned at this point.
Yeah.
I think it start a good run pursuit at something like the IC title or something of that nature. But I see him as a champion in some way.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought this match was awesome. Very hard hitting. That's what you're going to get from these two with the shillelagh and all that stuff by the ring. Sheamus beating it across his chest. Just the physicality of these guys going at it. They went through the table. They really beat the hell out of each other. And kudos to Sheamus. As you guys always said, I didn't like Sheamus when he first got into WWE. I was like, who is this guy who's pale and orange hair?
They pushed him too hard, too fast, too.
He did stand out, kind of.
He stood out, yeah.
Yeah, he stood out, no question. But he just got pushed too fast, and it took a little bit of time for his character to get over and stuff like that. He actually worked as a babyface and really just been through the ringer. One King of the Ring, I believe. The Royal Rumble, just multiple things. Yeah, when you look at what he's done, it's like, okay, this guy's established himself. But he's still a little bit underappreciated. I would love to see him get that Grand Slam championship by winning the IC title. Would love for that to happen. I think that's a story that they can definitely do. Maybe it can even be against Rusev. If Rusev ever climbs up and gets to that IC title, I still think Dom. Oh, that's just side note. Dom. I think what they're planning with Dom is to get him to San Diego so he can face Rey Mysterio. I still think that's in the cards for that because they're both from there. I think that's in the cards for them. If they don't do that, build Rusev up, have the Judgment Day cost Dom the IC title to Rusev, and then have Rusev. Maybe that's where you can have Rusev versus Sheamus again. Because these matches haven't been bad. That's the one thing I want to say.
Either that, Daniel, or they're gonna do a hair versus mask match at AAA. That would be perfect. Triple A, like a AAA main event. Assuming that, because I think they promoted Worlds Collide. Dom is getting a shot at a title shot against the Kingo.
That's next week.
Dom got the last event. Yeah, that's next week. Yeah. I mean, it would make sense at this point that you should just put the AAA title on Dom at this point. At this point, and then if you want to do something with him and Rey Mysterio, whether it's at in San Diego or it's at a AAA event when you're doing hair versus mask, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ways they can go, but just to get back to Sheamus and Rusev, I love what Rusev is doing. We've all been saying that he needed to get when that's going to establish him moving forward to the next thing, and hopefully this is it. Hopefully he continues to build himself up, and because it's like after Sheamus, where do you go on the roster? I would think maybe AJ Styles, maybe just kind of go through the veterans and stuff like that until you get a title shot. But we'll see what happens with him. But I love what these two guys are doing. Again, Sheamus has grown on me the past I want to say 3-4 years with his in-ring work and just his performances and going hard at it. He's gained my respect over the years and just putting on and to put Rusev over like that, to give him a win like that, I thought that was cool. So we'll see what happens continuing with that. Let's continue to move on to the last match tonight, only a 6-match card. The Wyatt Six retaining their titles. The Street Profits falling short of their quest to get back the tag team titles against the Wyatt Six. What did you guys make of this matchup?
It's coming. The breakup is coming. They planned it.
Oh my god,
it's coming.
I feel I'm praying that this does not turn into Austin Theory, Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
It's giving me that feeling. I was trying to see. I did see the little skit on SmackDown where, Bo pops out and just kind of like gives his little spiels, how he gave to the Street Profits and then he did it to Miz and Mello. So I didn't really get, I get where, they were like, oh, is he really your brother? Is he going to be by your side? But then like they kind of came out and did the whole, nah, I'm going to start. No, I'm going to start. And then they're tagging themselves in. So I didn't really, I feel like it wasn't really explained like why they were doing that. Was it just because his words, I guess, got to them and now they're starting to feel some type of way. I don't know. But I wanted a heel turn so badly. I'm like, they lost. This is the moment. Like, how many times? I feel like the old, we lose. I feel like the last person who did it really well was probably like Tommaso Ciampa in like NXT. Like that was a huge like, he's going for it. And I feel like that established him as a standalone character. And it's just like, you have it in your palm of your hands. Just do it. I'm just and like the reason why I said the Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, because that was literally what they had in that moment, and probably could have made Austin Theory a bigger character, before he got injured. And they just wasted it, and he got injured, and now they're just broken up, and all that, I guess, little storytelling you were doing that whole time and everything is just wasted and gone. So I'm praying, and plus we had that vignette of Montez talking to himself as just like, that was for nothing, which was very good. And I'm like, that was for nothing, or they're not even going to acknowledge that he did that, I guess, or even do a segment where Angelo's talking to him like, yo, what was all that? I don't know. So I was really hoping that once they lost, we would get a heel turn, but well, who knows if it's going to be done right or not. So.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask this question, and Sonny, you can chime in since you're the I like to call you Mr. Old School. But has there ever been a tag team breakup in wrestling where both guys ended up on like the same level good? Because when people talk about breakups, the first thing that they think about is obviously Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Obviously, Shawn became a Hall of Famer, Marty not so much. So has there ever been a tag team breakup in history where both guys ended up very good?
Shit, I'd probably say
that.
that.
I would say Paul Jones and Wahoo McDaniels. Paul Jones ended up becoming a manager, and Wahoo continued to climb. What I see here with the family coming out during the matches, the circuit seems to be spinning the stories too long, like Lewis has said, and you don't want to go so strange that the fans say, well, this is all fake. And that's kind of where I think some of us are at here with this presentation of what's going on. And it dilutes the seriousness of the business to me. We had the guy who wore the paint and came out with the woman and all that. I can't think his name right this instant, but we had him back in the day, and he was the devil image and all this. He died recently. I'll probably think of it right after the show. But anyway, he came out, did his thing, but he got in the ring and wrestled. So some of the family members aren't wrestling, and why are they allowing them to be there if they're not going to participate in the actual matchup? So, you don't want to have so many people that it's not making sense anymore. And that's kind of where I'm at on this whole let's bring in the family affair thing. AEW, John Moxley and the Death Riders. Tired to death of seeing the Death Riders. It is overshadowing John Moxley's true ability to show off his talents as a great wrestler. The man, in my opinion, is phenomenal without the Death Riders. He takes on any and everybody every week, and it's just every match, the Death Riders. So, I don't want to see wrestling get too weird. And anytime you take people that are unevenly matched up, to me, it just goes kind of south. Hope that answers your question, Brian. Kevin Sullivan.
Okay, yeah, and woman, yeah. That was
he died 3 years ago, something. So,
WCW. But to answer your question, Brian, I would think Edge and Christian. I would think the Hardy Boys. I would think those guys stand out because they both were able to get world titles in different promotions and stuff like that and not lose credibility along the way. Usually when these tag team breakups happen, again, I've been saying they should have broke up. The Street Profits should have broke up at SummerSlam 2022 when they lost to the Usos.
I like the Profits.
Yeah, I like them too. Like everyone.
I hope they stay together like the Hardys.
That's the thing. See, you're feeling. I think that's the reason why they didn't break them up because people love them together so much. And if they break up, Montez is going to go up here, but you don't know what's going to happen to Angelo Dawkins. And I think Montez knows that he doesn't want his boy to get left behind.
Right.
I think Angelo though is good enough though.
I think he's at a point where he could probably make his own character. I remember if this was him in like NXT, because I remember in NXT he was kind of going through tag partners like left and right. Either people were getting injured or it just wasn't working. And then when he got with Montez, we were like, oh, we got something here. Yeah, exactly. He was still doing the whole like. I forget what, whipping it up or whatever, and I'm like, dude, you got to stop that. But it worked for them. So, but now, I mean, I feel like his promo work is probably better, and he could probably be his own serious character.
Yeah, I think this is where I think they're doing a misstep with them. Even if they do want to stop the tag team, that doesn't mean that they don't have to be together. Like. Montez can be a heel. Angelo can be his backup, like his lackey, his manager. Like, just do something. Like, I've been saying this. Why can't they do that? Now you have a person that, one, can get in the ring. Two, a person that can take bumps when necessary. Why not do that? It doesn't have to end in – everyone's thinking about the tag team image of themselves. I'm like, it doesn't have to end that way. And then whenever Montez is done with his single run, you can put him back in the tag team. It doesn't have to end like that. There can be different variations of the Street Profits. Them going – the little dissension that we saw in the start of the match, I was like, where are they going with this?
Yeah. I felt that there should have been some –
a little bit more
acknowledgement, even like say something, like have a conversation before their match on Friday. Like, oh, hey, when we start, like I'm gonna start, or like kind of a back and forth type thing, and then it makes sense why they're doing it in the ring. But it just kind of happened out of nowhere, and like that's like the hint to that there's issues, So.
And Dan, that's kind of how the Hardy Boys have done it over the years. They've been together, they've been separate. They've had their own private lives come into play in the ring to a point. They've gotten back together. They've conquered again as world champions. So it's been done. And I think it could happen to the Profits too, that they maybe take a break and get back together and those kind of things.
And especially right now where there's a state – I feel like there's a state of flux. Obviously, you have Sami Zayn. You have Solo. You have Jacob, who we haven't seen in a little bit. Jimmy went to Raw recently, so I'm thinking that he's going to be on Raw now, whatever the case may be. Put Montez in that spot. And you know what I mean? And see what he can do in this mid-card. The moves that he does in the ring, the high frog splash, the splash from heaven and stuff like that, the jump over the turnbuckle he's just doing naturally. Like, he's talented. Like, everyone sees it. Like, the crowd reacts to him. He's animated. Like, give them a chance. And I don't want to just make this all about the Street Profits. Obviously, the Wyatt Six, their strength in numbers. They do good in-ring work. Them retaining was probably going to happen. I wanted the Street Profits to win when the match was announced. But it's just like, I don't know. The slow burn for me, kind of like with the Judgment Day, it's like, let's make something happen.
Okay, so Daniel, I want to ask you, because since you haven't really been a huge fan of the Wyatt Six, do you like what you saw with Bo Dallas kind of being humanized, not being Uncle Howdy, kind of like putting these thoughts in the Street Profits' head? Do you want to see more of that moving forward, of him just being Bo Dallas and being Uncle Howdy, having them be like separate? Does that help you kind of appreciate the Wyatt Six?
I did like that. Because it's kind of showing his human side and him. There's a split personality type thing going on here, but he's kind of giving that edge. He's kind of filling in for Karrion Kross, if you think about it.
Well, I was just about to say that. I'm like, you're literally taking what Karrion was doing with poisoning people, and now you're going to do it with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, so I think I'm fine with that if that leads to more stories with the Wyatt Six in terms of their story, because I think that's been the issue that I've been having with them, is that they're just around as a homage to Bray Wyatt, which is cool and all, but it's like, okay, if they're going to be on and featured this much, let's actually, as I said before when they first started, I'm like, let them cause some havoc. Let them start messing with people. Let them start beating down people. I don't know if that's going to lead to a world title picture or whatever the case may be, but give these guys something that they can actually latch onto and actually build character other than, hey, we're here for Bray Wyatt.
They still act like that they're being premiered or something, and they're not going forward from that. I mean, they just suddenly appear, Brian, and it's like, why are they appearing?
Yeah.
So that's my spin on it. And the Hardy Boys have been friends of mine for years, but it's frustrating from the fan viewpoint to see somebody just appear and not have a story behind it. And that's where I think Triple H needs to step back and say, okay, how am I going to bring these guys forward, and what am I going to give them that rival somebody or something?
Yeah. I just think that's with them, at least with this angle with Bo Dallas doing the Bo Dallas gimmick and then the Uncle Howdy gimmick, at least it gives them a little bit of Jacqueline Hyde type of feel. And maybe something.
And Kevin Sullivan. So
yeah,
it's still that way. I saw Kevin Sullivan on tour one time, and he was just out of sight. I didn't get to speak to him because he was so busy, but he came out and just became his character. I mean, I've had to work over the years of becoming my character. He went bang, and he was Kevin Sullivan. He was no longer the man that walked in the door. And it was out of sight to see it in person. So,
yeah. Kevin Sullivan, one of the greats from back in the day. But yeah, with the tag team stuff is just like, I just want them to progress with the Street Profits. Are they going to break up? If they're not, the Wyatt Six, are they going to be taken to another level? I like the fact that I'm fine with them having the tag titles if they're doing this role, and we'll see what happens going forward of them just messing with everybody.
They won.
Yeah, and then you'd have thought they lost, but it's just kudos to everybody involved. I thought the match was pretty good. I like the Overwatch. No, that was Borderlands. The Borderlands outfit that the Street Profits had. That's cool.
I was nice
for that. I was like, is this going to be a thing? Because the War Raiders did it. Was it SummerSlam they did it, or
was it night one of WrestleMania that they came out?
Oh, it was WrestleMania. Yeah. WrestleMania, they came out in the video game gear.
I've seen so many they're all blending in.
That's true.
This is all these gimmicks and stuff like that. But Clash in Paris was pretty great. I thought it was a pretty solid show, top to bottom. Not enough I can say about it. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty solid show. Again, the number one thing, the MVP of that whole show was the crowd. That crowd is amazing overseas. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they pass out water, like a special water to everybody, but they sing in unison. They sing all the songs. It's a different atmosphere when they go overseas.
For God's sakes, AJ Styles came out for his entrance, did his pose, and they literally did that chant through the 3-minute ad. Then they came back, and they came back. They did another ad, and they're still chanting. I could not believe that. I'm just like, oh, wow.
It's a different level over there. Like when Roman Reigns was pointing in the crowd with his hand and stuff like that, and like the whole arena has their hands up. They just make the show feel good, and I feel like it's an added element sometimes, kind of like WWE goes to some of these places, and it's kind of just like did at certain moments, and they're not getting into it. But overseas, no question. I feel like that's the MVP of Clash in Paris. Is definitely the crowd work of Paris, France. So thank you for doing it again and putting on a phenomenal atmosphere for the show. Watching at home was great. The show was pretty great. Can't say enough about it.
Okay, and I just want to say just one more thing in regards to those fans. If they are ever planning on doing a WrestleMania overseas, not in Saudi Arabia, not in the UK, it has to be. If they're thinking about it, they have to do it in France first because it's the atmosphere of that crowd. And now just find a stadium that holds at least 60,000 in France. Then that atmosphere of that show would just be tremendous.
Yeah, either London, because I think London might have bigger space. London might have the arena to do it with the Q2 and stuff.
They got Wembley Stadium. I mean, AEW currently has the record. I mean, if you want to go after it, I mean, you might as well.
Yeah, they can definitely do it. But yeah, that will do it for this episode of Ring Takes here, 120. Sonny, thanks for joining us again as always. Gerald, Bentley as well. Thank you for you guys joining us and taking time with us. We'll be picking it back up as we continue to head towards, I guess, WrestlePalooza now. That's the big main one coming up next. Worlds Collide is next week. And then the following week is All Out, I believe. Did I get that right? All Out?
Yeah, all out WrestlePalooza on the same date. Yeah.
All in. Yeah. So that's happening on September 20th. So we'll definitely be picking it back up. And as we march to those PLEs and stuff like that. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for watching. And remember to always kick out on 2.